Hey, everybody. This is Heather Lockett with Lasting Conversations. We're going to make a little joyful noise today, and I'm going to weave together a few different stories and scenarios that hopefully will help all of us in this new season. So here we are in August, and many children around the globe are entering their school systems again. They're going back to school in whatever fashion that is. So around here in the United States, we do have a wonderful offering of there's public schools, private schools, home schools, pod schools, charter schools, a whole rainbow of opportunities. And the kids these days and the families are taking advantage of what is best available. Now, that also would include what the high schools and colleges are. And in these days and times, the very notion of communication has come under fire. It has been shaken. It has reawakened differing passions and the very voices of everybody that are here to learn and listen together. So what I'm going to talk about today is a matter of communication. And one of the things that has been very magical for me in my perspective is to see this global view, this global perspective that has been the Olympics in the last week or so. Now, what has been so outstanding is to watch the joy and the camaraderie and the teamwork from so many around the world, because again, the performers, the artistry from the opening ceremonies, and we'll be having the closing ceremonies too. So yes, the very dancers, the artists, the architects, the people who have helped bring forward the passions of the athletes and putting it all together on this global stage has been nothing short of extraordinary. And what I've been finding is so many new ways that we've been watching and sharing this moment together, and to watch the athletes themselves share in their joy and their families, their exuberance. And where it is competition, there's teamwork. There's people reaching over to hug and high five and show compassion. And also what's been happening is the extraordinary way that there is access for so many. So people of all genders and races and family and cultures from all over the globe have come together to show what is the best of us. And these are also in physical abilities and the differing, even mental abilities. I've noticed that a lot of the athletes have learned to really take their mental focus as almost first, beyond their physical prowess, that they have to come to that loving awareness breath before they step out onto their stage for their competition. And it's really extraordinary to see that. The other thing also is in the sharing and the voices to bring this all to life. The commentaries have been so colorful, the commentaries from people around the world. And one of the things that was really interesting to me is learning. And I always love learning something new every day. And one of those is not only are there interesting characters that are bringing the play-by-play and sharing what's happening on these Olympic stages, but then there are the people who are also offering for the sight impaired, the sign language, and the hearing impaired sign language. But also something extraordinary that I hadn't heard about is that for the visually impaired, there are people who understand the language and the bringing forward of the color of every match. What's happening is that they not only offer commentary of the play-by-play, but they go deeper and offer a richness in a text and a tonality to actually explain what a half pike is, or what something in a half Nelson, perhaps. All these different terminologies that we can say, well, so-and-so is doing this, or so-and-so is doing a half Nelson, but what does that mean? And so I was listening to a really beautiful interview with people that dive deeper into the background and context of what these competitions are, so that they can perform their own languaging to give visual texture for those who actually can't see. So if you don't know what a half Nelson is or a pike is, they can do it in their descriptive form. And I just find that absolutely fascinating. And that we're here to clearly so far beyond marginalizing people and saying what you cannot do and what your ability is or is not. Now we're in the full context of the richness of all of our humanity, and that's nothing short of exciting. So blending all this together gets into education. So going back to the kids and the people going back to school, where on Lasting Conversations, we have spoken to many educators and parents. So you can go back to our library and hear from Tamika Taylor, say, about dyslexia and what that might look like, or Dr. Temple Grandin and neurodiversity, or Ray Kutu, or Lisa Poskinser. So people who are in the field of education and they're passionate. And some of it is from spaces of worry, where some are worried about what the future holds. How can they even do their job if they're in a box? So that we're also here to invite the administrators and the parents and everybody to listen to the kids, listen to their own hearts, and certainly come to those moments of breath and to take a pause. Now, where I keep hearing this drumbeat of the kiddos themselves has been part of my other pieces of work, where I've gone into classrooms and I've offered music and art, but it's not from any construct. There's no lesson involved, because the message that comes through is let them teach. Let them be the ones who are teaching. So the last time I was in one of these classrooms in a small school environment, the kids literally were leading the way. And we did have sound bowls, and they had tambourines, and I was playing different musics and tones. And so after they had had their own meditative moment, my invitation to them was to step out of their own brain, step out of their own construct of, do they have to pass something? Is there a grade on this? No. And they brought forward a joyful noise, and they had so much fun. They had so much fun being themselves and bringing forward what they were here to do, whether it was music or some art on the table from pieces of paper and crayons and such. They had so much fun that when we came back to the center and we were rounding out the session, I said, what was your experience? What was your takeaway? And one young girl immediately said, I want more of that. And they all said, yes, we want more of that. So this is where we are right now. It's really an extraordinary time. Whether you are in a workforce where now 50, 60 years of generations of a split, fresh out of college or high school, all the way into 50s, 60s, 70s, and beyond, are sharing these different workspaces. And each generation might say, what are you talking about? Or what is your come from? This is where the wonderful invitation is to stop and pause and listen to each other and learn from each other. It's really very exciting and very, very dynamic. And I keep hearing this over and over and over again, are the opportunities to really take that pause again and listen beyond words. What is the resonance? What is it that somebody is here to teach us? One of the other joys that I get is my little algorithm on social is pretty fun, where I see the different kiddos and the parents who are here to allow their kids their fullest expression. So whether it's young Max with his fashion couture, or 3-year-old Isaac and his soul dancing, and young Bray, who is a starseed with the wisdom of infinity, and that they have their own voices and we get to see their own rhythms and dances. And they're so popular because they tap into something within all of us that know that they know. And so part of my calling and part of my work is to help be that bridge of communication between the generations, and also to help the kiddos and the families understand that, and I say this over and over, we're all in this thing together. And we have this ability and amazing capacity to be stretched and to learn and to be good stewards for each other. So, as the grown-ups, per se, not only do we get to tap into our own inner wisdom and inner child and have fun and play ourselves, this is what our kids are here to remind us, but also to be those best stewards, to allow the depth and the breadth of what our next generation is here to show us. It may seem a little frustrating at times because we don't know what they're talking about. What is a skibbity or a sus or whatever it is? There's now ways that we can look that up, and it's really hilarious. So, and every generation before us has done the same thing. I'm thinking about my grandmother. So back in the 100 years ago, 20s, where there was scat and there was all kinds of other hepcat words and vocabularies, every generation has brought forth something new, something expansive and something fun and something that makes us scratch our heads. So this is where, when we say lasting conversations, we get to the heart of everything. This is what we're doing. This is the heart of everything. And I find it really fun and joyous. So right now I'm on episode 97 and rounding to 100. So not only do we have a whole library of amazing people that are sharing their depth and their wisdom, but we have some people lined up that or take us to even more, the next level and the next level and the next level. And that is very exciting. And it's very joyous. So we're in this Lionsgate portal. That is an interplanetary thing happening. And what that does is shows us the deeper parts of ourselves. And also this invitation of literally making a 180, or for some, maybe even a 360 into something new and expansive and delightful and fun and fun and fun and fun. I know there's a lot of unfun happening. And yet that is still the call, is to come into our hearts and be from our greatest selves for those who might need a helping hand. So today, I do invite you to go into your heart, go outside, get stretched a little bit, go inside if you need to do that. If you are a doer and a beer and a striver and a thriver, maybe this is your invitation to just get really silent and really quiet and hear your own heartbeat and take that deeply and deeply from within. Because there's so much around us of a joyful abundance that is here to help us into our next phase, our next evolution. So going back to the kiddos, they are literally new humans on our planet, and they're here to help us bridge into the next future. So with all the love and joy in my heart, from my heart to your heart, and your heart to everybody else on the planet, I love you, and I appreciate you, and I am grateful for you. And I'm grateful for all of you listeners, and I'm grateful for all of you who can share this message. Mostly, it's not even my message. This is the global message that we have a kinship together. We have a unity together. We are a global family. This is what these moments with the Olympics have been showing us. We are a global family. And truly, this is why we're here to exist together. So, beautiful, bountiful day to all of you. Enjoy, enjoy, enjoy. This is Heather Lockett with Lasting Conversations. We get to the heart of everything.